Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank members of the media for coming here this morning and for taking some time to talk about the security provisions. And before I get into that, I certainly want to recognize the folks that are here in this room. They represent pretty much every major first responder agency here in the greater Boston area. And these are partnerships that we really carry over from weather events during the winter, hurricanes, you name it. These folks all come together. They represent federal, state, local law enforcement. You'll have FBI here, Secret Service, BPD, Boston Fire, Jimmy Hooley from Boston EMS, all of our partners at MEMA and all that they bring. But these folks all know each other. They're very well familiarized with each agency's capacity is and what you can do and what you can't. And so I think that's a great story for Massachusetts, quite frankly. And we talk about this on a national level all the time about our response capability and how we integrate it together. So I think as you get a chance to do some filming of some of this, you can appreciate the work that goes into this. And today's event, brings in an outside partnership, B4 Productions. And these are relationships, too, that go back many, many years. I think this is my 10th year here. I think Major Grenham, the incident commander, is here for 8 years. And all of the troopers and the Boston police officers who are part of this have been working with B4 Productions for a long, long time. So it's a really, really dynamic relationship. So let's talk a little bit about security here this morning. Our security plan has always been a multi-layered plan. There's a lot of this that is quite visible to you when you go out there. We make a big point of singling out these yellow vests because we want the public to feel confident. We want them to feel safe. We want them to know that if you have a problem, we talk about see something, say something, but we also want you to be able to approach a police officer or emergency responder out there to articulate whatever your problem is or concern. That's what we're there for. And we would expect the public to utilize us in satisfying whatever concerns that they might have. There's a lot of things that you won't see out there. I just came from a roll call at 7 o'clock, and a lot of our plainclothes folks were there. And we talked about their mission for the day and how vigilant I want them to be. They'll be intermingled with the crowds tonight and this afternoon. You will not see them. You won't know that they're there, but they have a very, very important mission as well. So that's important. A lot of what's going on in this room here today is about technology. You can see it up on the boards, weather monitoring and the camera system, the downlink from our helicopter that's looking at all of the activity over the course of the day. All of this is gridded off so that there's any situation that arises, it comes in here to the UCC. They can tell our folks on the ground precisely where to go and what the problem is and how to address it. So everything's coordinated through this particular room and through our incident commander, Major Grenham. So we have a lot going on here, and we'll take yesterday's event. It's the rehearsal. I mean, could we have had a nicer day yesterday? I wish we could replicate the weather for today. It was a 10. Today is a little cooler. I'll leave MEMA Director Schwartz talk about the weather, but we hope to get through all this today. It'll be comfortable out there. We won't have some of the heat we've had in last year's, and that can cause some issues for us in a typical year. It shouldn't happen today. Yesterday's event went very, very well. Like every year, we have little incidents that come up that we address. None of them are of any great concern. It's just about suspicious behavior that we respond to, that we mitigate. We find out exactly why people are doing certain things. They all turned out to be fairly innocuous and quite innocent. It's a quick interaction with your law enforcement representatives out there, and then people go on their way. And as I told our troopers here today at roll call, this is an international event for Massachusetts and for the city of Boston. There are families that come here from all over the world, certainly all over the country. They come traditionally to this venue. They celebrate it. They have a great time. And I want, our law enforcement representatives and all of the emergency responders to have this opportunity really to extend a hand, show a smile, have some conversation with folks out there, and really get to share the sort of human experience and the great tradition of the 4th of July, because that's really what, at the end of the day, that's what all of this is about. Facilitating an opportunity for people to come here and celebrate the great traditions of being an American. So we are, we're on the right course. I think I'm looking forward to a great day here today, and with this extraordinary team, those folks that you see out here sitting in front of monitors, we are going to make this a very safe and enjoyable holiday for everyone. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to MEMA Director Kurt Schwartz to talk a little bit about weather concerns and some of the other activities here this afternoon.
Thank you, Colonel, and thank you as well for the partnership. As we plan every year for the 4th, one of the hazards we obviously pay a lot of attention to and plan for is the weather. And for those of you who have been around this event the last few years, we've dealt with extreme heat, extreme thunderstorms. Last year we were dealing with the remnants of a hurricane that canceled the 4th. So Mother Nature has been difficult on the 4th the last few years, but the good news, another good news story today, is that we are not looking at any significant risk of severe or significant weather, no major weather concerns. We have a day that's going to be mostly cloudy, which will make it more comfortable for people out on the common. The temperatures, in the low 70s, it will be comfortable. No real risk of thunderstorms, lightning. We may have a spot shower or two during the day, but we should have it out of the way and clear for this evening's events. So for those of us focused on the weather, this looks like a great day. We thank the National Weather Service, who also is here with us in the UCC today, that were here as well yesterday. So from our perspective, a great day, and we just encourage people to enjoy the day, and weather should not be a significant concern. So thank you.
With that, I'd be happy to take a couple of questions if you have some.
How many of those threats did you say you encountered that you said were innocuous?
Frank, it wasn't a large number. I mean, what we get is reports of suspicious activity. People that might approach the venue, perhaps they didn't look at the prohibited items list. They bring a bag or something like that, and so we dispatch people to do that. Or somebody that might be acting a bit peculiar out there on the Esplanade. There might have been less than 6 of those during the course of the evening. But again, all of them turned out to be innocent and just misinterpretation. But I don't want to discourage people from reporting that. That's what we're here for, and that's our job, and we expect the public to bring those to our attention.
I think a lot of us who were there yesterday can't help but notice it definitely feels you don't have the note for us kind of feel. Are we just imagining this, or is there more?
Well, I think the build up to this and the national conversation about the July 4th and the threats and the warnings that we tend to get out of the Department of Homeland Security and some of the federal agencies raise our level of awareness, and I think that's a good thing. What we don't want is to create any kind of militarization atmosphere out there. I think that, and again, I said this before, I really impressed upon our folks this morning that, this is a public relations opportunity for all of us. And I think we need to take advantage of that. And we want the public to know that we're approachable, we're responsive to whatever their concerns are, and please do that.
Do you have any specific concerns or issues that you're watching for today?
Just a lot of general concerns. Again, suspicious behavior. We have our intelligence people from the Fusion Center, from the Boston Regional Intelligence Center, from the FBI, from the Secret Service. So there's a partnership here today that will look at information and analyze that, and if it's something that we need to know, we're certainly made aware of it instantaneously. There's obviously a lot of events going on around the country today, a lot of celebrations, fireworks displays, and so we share that really on a national level, and that's the reason why this particular facility is so important to this operation.
You said if you see something, say something. What kind of things do you want people to report? I know you said sometimes they may not turn out to be a real problem, but what should people be looking for to help you out?
I think just behavior on the part of individuals, maybe that might be by themselves, maybe acting peculiar. We're doing obviously a lot of checks at the queue lines But this is a very large area, and it, you know, borders a body of water on one side, and then we've got the Cambridge side and over here. So as much as we are confident we have all this locked down, there's always a possibility that someone could find a way that might be able to get in. And so we want people to just be cognizant of that. And any kind of unusual behavior on the part of anyone, we want them to quickly get to us on text-to-tip or certainly in an emergency dialing 911 and giving us that information.
It sounds like one of your biggest concerns is the lone wolf possibility.
Well, Frank, that's, you know, I mean, that's true every day, whether it's the 4th of July or the 30th of July. And I think that's an ongoing concern in this country and across the world about the lone wolf threat. But we're confident that we've got a very robust and comprehensive security plan here today, and we're certainly hopeful and confident that we won't have that problem. Anything else?
Questions about the toddler deer aisle. Will you be able to speak about that?
Well, you know what I can tell you about that, when I left here last night, we had over 24 million views of our posting on Facebook. So obviously the public is very, very engaged in this. We've generated a lot of conversation, if you will, across social media on it. And our team is working on sifting through all of that information to try to find a viable lead. I can't speak to what they've done specifically at this point, but we are just really in awe of the public engagement over this, and understandably so. But 24 million views to our Facebook. So I'm hopeful that one of those conversations is going to lead us to those that are responsible for that child being found out there.
Do you have maybe the top 3 cases that have been mentioned with this, that missing child?
I don't have information on the top 3 now, but I think if you go on there, I mean, you can see a lot of those. There was a lot of repetitive references to individual children, and I know the investigative team at Suffolk County has really been working on that. I think they've excluded a number of those, but I think the point is we want to keep the public engaged in this. Somebody knows who this child is. And I think it's worth repeating also that, you know, the photograph that you see there is a computer-generated likeness. It's not an exact photograph from this child. So, you know, we're looking for likenesses to her. And the important thing, I think, is the clothing articles and the blanket there, because they're very unique. And someone's going to remember this and this child wearing that particular clothing, and that might be the lead that we're looking for. So I think that's the message I want to give you is please stay engaged in this. We need the public help on this, and it's been extraordinary thus far. Thanks very much, folks. Have a great day. Enjoy the 4th.